Forex Fundamentals Part 1, Why New Traders Struggle. Throughout this lesson, we will be looking at the reasons why new traders struggle, and then we'll also look at how to avoid them. This is a very important topic because we need to understand where it is that the majority of new traders go wrong. If we know where it is that new traders go wrong, we can then take the correct steps in order to avoid making those same mistakes. Why do new traders struggle? There are 5 lethal factors that cause traders to fail. All of these factors are self-inflicted. I've heard of so many stories where so many people have expressed or discussed their negative Forex trading experience, particularly those that have lost a lot of money and blown their accounts. Most of these guys have a few things in common. 1, they probably lack the right guidance. 2, their strategy probably isn't on point. 3, they're more than likely taking a gambling approach. Regardless though, it is easier to blame Forex than it is to blame yourself. Now I'm not saying, sit back and blame yourself and give yourself a hard time. What I'm saying is that know where you're going wrong, understand what is causing you to struggle and fail, and then find a way to be able to fix it. If you can do that, you will become successful. There are people out there that are successful. You've got to question it. If there are people that are successful, why are you struggling? It is something that you're doing. Many traders actually self-sabotage their own trading without even knowing that they are doing it. If you do not learn the do's and don'ts now, when your account explodes, you have nobody to blame but yourself. Doing this course, doing this topic will ensure that you do not travel down the same road where you may find yourself sharing the same fate of a blown account. So what are the 5 lethal factors? What we will do here is identify the 5 lethal factors, and we will elaborate on them in the upcoming slides. First up, we have overconfidence. We've then got overtrading, followed by increased leverage, exposing your risk, and finally, not sticking to stop-loss orders. First one up is overconfidence. Let's have a look at what overconfidence is and understand how this can be crucial to our success. Overconfidence is the magnified or inflated belief in your ability to trade or knowing how to trade. Confidence is critical in becoming a successful trader. When you are confident, you are more than likely going to take risks or look for those opportunities that are out there. So we do need to have a level of confidence. We just need to understand that line between confidence and overconfidence. Too much confidence can have negative consequences. It is one thing to believe that your trades can potentially be profitable, but it's another thing to think that you know everything about the markets. I've been doing this for 15 years plus, and I can comfortably tell you that there are some things out there that I still do not know. Market conditions change all the time. It's only recently that we've started to understand what it's like to trade through a pandemic. So there's a few things that we think we've got down pat, but then the market exposes the fact that we actually don't. So as long as you are confident and know the difference between confidence and overconfidence, you should be okay. What is overconfidence? Let's take a look at a breakdown of what overconfidence is. Psychologists observe overconfidence in 3 distinct forms. They are overestimation, which is the tendency to overestimate one's performance. Over-precision, which is the excessive confidence that one knows the truth. And over-placement, the judgment of your performance compared to another. Most overconfident individuals believe that they are better than most, and they overestimate the precision of their knowledge and the level of their abilities. How do we minimize overconfidence? I have a few points that we're about to look at now which will help us with. learning how to minimize overconfidence. First up, we have self-awareness. Take your time to truly understand yourself. Know what you are able to achieve. Know your limits. Be aware of your limitations. Also be aware of what opportunities are not worth pursuing or worth pursuing. There are so many different setups out there that some of them appear to be opportunities when in actual fact they're not. We need to understand that. Know your limits. Be open to new advice. Always consider the possibility that you are wrong in order to be open to new advice. There are always going to be other people out there that could shed some light on something for you. Now, I'm a big believer in what works for you, stick to it. There are so many people out there with so many different opinions and views. Take on board what you think you should and forget the rest. All right, there is a lot of noise out there, and sometimes a lot of noise can cause detriment to your progress or your success. So when I say be open to new advice, listen to those that have what it is that you want, that can guide you, but also be very cautious as to what information you should take on board. All right, because I myself know that what I do works for me, and realistically speaking, there are other people that what they do works for them. And if that works for them and what I do works for me, then so be it. I will be open to new advice, but I will not be persuaded into doing something because of somebody else's view or opinion. Let's take a look at overtrading. Overtrading is when you are trading very frequently, taking extremely large trades and or taking uncalculated risks. I've been there. A lot of you guys have been there. A lot of other guys will go there. All right, it happens a lot. We win, we feel fantastic, we put additional trades on without working it out correctly. We end up losing. Trading too frequently. We lose. We feel like we need to regain. What do? We take a larger position or uncalculated risks. We place a trade in, we lose a lot more than what we should, and then we become a little bit upset. Why? Because we have fallen into the trap of overtrading. Successful traders are very patient. Quality setups take time to form. Remain patient and wait for confirmation and confluence. You will see this on the live sessions when I come to trade. It's all about getting in at the right time, in the right place, and then exiting at the right time and in the right place. Sometimes a trade setup might take hours, weeks, or months to shape. We need to wait for that to occur before jumping in. Patience is extremely important and must be practiced. If you do not remain patient, especially in trades as well, you will find yourself losing a lot more than you are winning. What matters is preservation of capital. Wait until everything lines up before entering the market. If you blow your money, you will not have the ability to jump into a trade. So number one thing is preservation of capital. If everything does not line up, why put your money on the line? Wait until everything lines up before entering. Make sure you tick every single box. Lucky for you guys, and the information that you're going to get on this course will give you your strategies, will give you your trading plan, will give you your risk management rules and what you need to do. If you do not tick every single box and you do not break the market down correctly and it does not line up the way you want it to line up or the way it should line up, do not enter that trade. Wait. Patience. We can see that they all tie in. Another thing that I've noticed and I've seen over time, it's happened with me and it happens with a lot of people, is when we spend too much time staring at charts. This will also cause you to overtrade. What will happen is it starts to make you believe that you are seeing things that aren't even there. I've zoomed in, zoomed out, gone to different time frames, tried to assess charts and look at specific candles and make myself believe that there is something there. I say this to everyone, if it's obvious, you will see it. If it's not obvious, forget about it, it's not there. Do not try to find something that does not exist. Have you heard of revenge trading? I've heard of it, I've been there, and I know a lot of other people that have been there as well. And I can almost guarantee you that there are a lot of other people that will head down this path as well. Revenge trading is when you jump back into a new trade right after taking a loss because you believe that you can recoup and make your money back. Letting your emotions get to you is very, very dangerous. When it comes to trading, use your head, use logic, not emotion. Back to psychology. When we are emotional, we will make emotional decisions. If we make emotional decisions, we will be making the wrong decisions. When you suffer a large loss or a series of losses within a short period of time, you will be tempted to jump back in and revenge trade. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get back at the market. But what will happen is the market will keep knocking you down and will keep taking your money. So if we know this, my suggestion to you is if you suffer a loss or if you have a win, get up, refresh, walk around, come back, check your charts later on. Do not allow the one, excited feeling of winning determine what your next move will be. Two, do not allow the anger of losing a trade push you back into revenge trading. So how do we avoid revenge trading? First up, remain present and fully focused while trading. If you have had a bad day at work or something's happened in your day-to-day living and it's caused you to feel a little bit uneasy or your psychological state of mind is not there, I would suggest that you do not trade, all right? You need to remain present and fully focused. The market will eat you alive if you are not focused. Make sure you're in a good state of mind, all right? Make sure that you are clean and clear in terms of the way you are thinking. External influences or external pressures will affect you. If you have experienced something of a negative nature, if you've got to sit out for a day or two or a week, it will be in your best interest. Why? Because then you're not going to be making emotional decisions, which will cause overtrading, revenge trading, and also the potential of blowing your account. And lastly, you need to have a trading plan and stick to it. Lucky for you guys, I will be providing you with the trading plan. I will be providing you with strategies, risk reward, risk management strategies, everything you need to know. So all you have to do is stick to it. If you do not stick to it, you've got nobody else to blame but yourself. Moving on to increased leverage. Like I said earlier on in one of the earlier topics, we will be talking about leverage in greater detail. But let's understand how this can affect us. Leverage means that with a small amount of capital in your account, you can open and control a much larger trading position. The advantage of leverage is that you can magnify your gains with a limited amount of capital. The disadvantage is that you can also magnify your losses. The higher your leverage, the greater your risk on each trade. So if I'm making $10 a pip on the up, I will be also losing $10 a pip on the way down. Exposing your risk. What is this all about? Let's take a look. Risk refers to the possibility of loss. So when we talk about risk exposure, we are talking about the measure of possible loss as a result of our trading. When we have multiple positions open in our trading account, always make sure that we are aware of our risk exposure. Trading pairs that move in the same direction can and will increase your risk exposure. Example, the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar are exactly like having two identical trades open because they usually move in the same direction or in the same way. Just because there are two valid trade setups in both pairs, you may not want to take them both. Maybe it makes more sense to pick one of the two setups. All right, you might be under the belief that you're diversifying your risk by trading in different pairs, but many pairs tend to move in the same direction. So instead of reducing risk, you are actually magnifying your risk. Not sticking to your stop losses. Extremely crucial and very, very important. I can sit here for the next 10 hours and tell you guys stories of where I lost a lot of money because I wasn't sticking to my stop losses. Extremely important. They are there for a reason. Alright? Stop losses are designed to close out your trading positions when the losses hit a predetermined price that is decided by you. It might be psychologically difficult for you to acknowledge the fact that you are wrong, but swallow your pride. If you swallow your pride, it will keep you trading for longer. When it comes down to it, what separates the winners from the losers is whether they can follow their predetermined plans or not. If the market has reached your stop, your reason for the trade is no longer valid and it's time for you to close it out. Do not widen it, do not override it, do not remove it. Do not sit back and say, I'll just let it ride. What you're letting ride is your losses. So make sure, if you place your stop loss after your assessment or your analysis, this is where you have decided that it is appropriate for your stop loss to be. Do not change it, do not remove it, do not do anything with it. It is there to protect your account and allow you to stay in the game for longer. One other very common reason why new traders struggle is because they do not have faith in their strategy. I've seen this day in, day out. People come through the door, you teach them how to trade, you give them a strategy, and as soon as they experience a loss or two, they throw their strategy out the window. Have faith in your strategy, have faith in your abilities. If you are consistent with what you do, you will become profitable in the long run. Let's have a look at this vicious cycle that I want you guys to avoid. All right, you come through Forex Platinum trading. You gain an education. You learn a few strategies. You apply those strategies and then you start to make a nice profit. Nice happy guy here. He's making profit as we can see. What happens next is he starts to lose and then he notices a little bit of a losing streak. At this point, he's still switched on and he knows what he needs to do. So he makes an adjustment, tweaks his strategy, and everything is back on track. He starts to profit again. Once his profit and win streak starts to die, he comes back into a losing streak. This time, instead of tweaking, he dumps his strategy and moves on. Every single strategy has losing periods. To combat this, you need faith in your strategy. The biggest thing is to have patience. You need patience. You will have wins and you will have losses. If you are losing more than you are winning, maybe stop and have a look at where you're going wrong and adjust and tweak your strategy. There is nobody out there that I know that has a 100% win rate every single time. Practice patience. Change what it is that needs to be changed. Tweak what needs to be tweaked. And then start the cycle again. The biggest thing that you need to do is you need to focus on the process, not the profits. A lot of people come into this game and all they think about is how much money they can make. Forget about how much money you can make. If you do not know the process, you will not make the profits. Focus on this and you will be rewarded with that. That brings us to the end of that topic. Quite informative and there is a lot of information to take on board. My suggestion to you guys is if you can walk away with a couple of things here, it's that one, make sure that you do not become too overconfident. All right, we might experience moments where we have a little bit of a winning streak. Believe me, if you do not take on board the fact that you can lose, you will lose and you will become upset and then you will start to revenge trade. If you start to revenge trade, what are you doing? You're blowing your capital. You're not preserving your capital. So make sure you manage that level of confidence and overconfidence. Another thing is those stop loss orders. You need to place your stop losses in. The strategies that I teach you guys all have a stop loss. If you do not put your stop loss in, you are exposing yourself to the potential dangers of blowing your account. And if that happens, you only have yourself to blame. So make sure you go through this topic, understand what it is that most people struggle on. If you have to write them down, have them in front of you, and that way, when you're trading, you know what it is that you need to avoid.